Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 9 of Let's Play The Witcher 3. Well, we are finally, ladies and gentlemen, past the White Orchard prologue, or introductory story, and are on to going to the actual part of the quest. But let's have a look at this picture of Ciri. Ciri looks very grown up. Looks very, very grown up. But yeah, so in this part, ooh, the last wish. Go on then, let's have a good read. Human life requires three things for its sustenance: food, drink, and gossip. It is thus no wonder that no matter where I travel, be it light icebound Povis or even green Toussaint, everyone asks me about the passions that bind Geralt and the sorceress Yennifer of Vengerberg. As a man both cautious and discreet, I refuse to betray their secrets, with one important exception. The history of their first encounter is so extraordinary, so romantic and moving, that it would be a veritable crime to hide its light beneath a bushel's basket. Indeed, had I not witnessed these events in person, I would never believe there was room in our grim and dark world for such fantastic marvels. It all began where Geralt and I were feeling a bit peckish and, underburdened by heavy coin pouches, decided to fish our supper out of a lake. No bites were to be had, but we did not leave empty-handed. My hook snagged quite a lovely pot. Oblivious to my friend's warning, I opened it, and in doing so freed a powerful djinn. Without giving it so much of a thought, I set about proclaiming my wishes. Before I could get to free, however, the djinn, irritated, I see now in hindsight, at being issued demands so soon after waking, began to throttle me. Geralt was able to drive him off, but I was left in a sorry state. I acted, the Witcher told me later, as though under the influence of some curse. Clearly, the help of an expert in the magic arcana would be needed. It was our good fortune that Yennifer of Vengerberg happened to be staying in a nearby village. Geralt went to her and asked that she heal his best friend, who happened to also be the brightest star in the northern poetic firmament. Yennefer, however, was more interested in the djinn, which she would later trap into she wanted to trap into magical servitude, than its victim, and it should be said, played the Witcher like a well-strung mandolin. Yet rather than grow angry at being used in such a calculating manner, he fell white head over muddy boots in love with her. What happened then? Well, I won't go into details. Suffice to say that Yennefer's plan hardly delighted the djinn, and without its cooperation she proved to be unable to tame it. The sorceress would surely have met a tragic end, and taken all of Rind along with her, had Geralt not rushed to rescue her rescue. For once, he did not need to draw either of his blades to send the djinn packing. He had to pronounce the third and final wish. He could have asked for anything: wealth, fame, power. But instead, he asked the djinn to bind his fate to that of the arrogant yet intriguing sorcerer from Vengerberg. Julian Alfred Pancratz, Viscount of Leavenhove, born 1232, award-winning poet, playwright, and troubadour, frequent performer at the courts of Nidomir, Vizima, Venslav, and many other nobles and notables, alumni of Oxenfurt Academy. Well, looks like our dear friend Dandelion, or Jaska, depending on obviously what book if you've read the Polish or English, is having a bit of fun with us. He's got to stop doing that. The collected verses of Gonzalo de Vercesio. Love is to build a house of cards or play a game of chess, but one word or ill-thought move, and you must start it all afresh. Tide, whenever I watch the tide recede, cold coils of fear grip around my heart. Will the seas sneak back, calm and sure, in the dark of night, as they have before? Or will they stay on distant shores, leaving crushed shells and washed-up dreams, as memory of serfs of yore? Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't want me to read all these books, all I can say is I apologize, because I'm going to be. Because I never read them in my first playthrough. A Sword for Witches, we've already read that, so we don't see. We're gonna get duplicates. The Wild Hunt. I am interested in this one. From farmers and herdsmen, milksmaids to midwives, all the common folk of the continent whisper, sharing tales of wraithy possessions pounding across the sky. Or processions, sorry, not possessions. The Wild Hunt, they call it. Winds and gales, storms and blizzard arise when it is sighted, and all grows cold, though the sun shone bright moments before. Some remember only the cold from the shock of the encounter, and claim the riders come always in winter. But nay, this is not so. The hunt brings its own ice. Death and war gallop in its wake, or so the superstition goes. Yet evil enough is the hunt itself. it takes folk captive, youths most often, in the prime of their wielding years, with 10 to 20 summers behind them. The hunt rushes in and they disappear, only to return long years later with no memory of what passed in the time between. Interesting. And the last one should hopefully, the royal lineages of the north. Cirilia Fiona Elon Rhiannon, born in 1251, heiress to the throne of Sintra, Princess of Bruges and Duchess of Sodden, heiress to Innis Ard Skellige and Innis Anne Skellige, and suzerain of Atri and Albiara, daughter of Pavetta, see Pavetta Fiona Ellen, and the urchin of Orlanwald, see Emir van Emirs, granddaughter of the famous lioness of Sintra, Queen Calanthe, see Calanthe Fiona Rhiannon. A shipwreck occurred during a journey from Sintra to Skellige, which took the lives of the urchin and Pavetta. Cirilla's further upbringing was then entrusted to her grandmother. In 1260, afraid of the looming Nilfgaardian threat, Queen Calanthe sent Cirilla to the court of King Eravil of Verden, where the heiress of Sintra was to marry the heir to the throne of Verden, Prince Kistrin. See Christian of Verden. Though allying with the Verden and gaining the aid of the realm's army was at the time Calanthe's top priority, no marriage ever occurred as Cirilla returned to her grandmother's court. In 1262, during the so-called Sintra massacre, Cirilla went missing. And, maybe you got one last book to read? She Who Knows. Folks say they were four at first. The mother, She Who Knows, the Lady of the Wood, came here from faraway land, and since she suffered terrible from loneliness, she made 3 daughters out of the dirt and water. A long, long time ago, the mother was sole ruler of all of Velen. Her daughters brought her the people's requests and served as her voice. Each spring, sacrifices of grain, animals, and men were made to the Lady of the Wood on her special night. Yet, as the years passed, the Lady of the Wood slipped deeper and deeper into madness. Her madness eventually spread over the land. Men took to abandoning their homes and setting out into the bog, where they became food for beasts. Before long, Velen was drowning in blood. The daughters saw their land nearing destruction and took upon it themselves to save it. When spring came once more, and with it the night of sacrifices, they killed their mother and buried her in the bog. Her blood watered the oak atop Ard Cerbin, and from then the tree grew, wholesome and hearty, fruit for the people. As for the lady's immortal soul, it refused to leave its beloved land, and so the sinister sisters imprisoned it. To this day, it lies trapped beneath the whispering hillock, where it thrashes about in a powerless rage. Right, let's go this way. Oh. Okay, let's not go this way. Let's go see what's there, if there's anything to take.
Directly out of Northern.
Jeez, I do apologize later, but this is probably going to be a lot of reading this part. What is a non-human? The answer is simple. As the very name suggests, it's something which resembles and yet nevertheless is not a human. Though it walks on 2 legs, speaks a tongue similar to our own, and dresses in a similar attire, it all the same has more in common with base beasts than noble men. Dwarves are like moles. They feel best under the ground and avoid direct sunlight. They like to live in filth, forever smudging themselves in mud and slime. They love everything that can be found within the earth, rocks, metals, minerals of all shapes and colour. It is also said that, like their kindred moles, they feed most readily on worms, roaches, and other night crawlers. Halflings, for their part, are mere reminiscent of gophers, fat, lazy, and loud in their typical rodent way. Their minds are filled with thoughts of food and drink, which they steal from other noble beasts and greedily squirrel away in their hovels. They are marked by a cruel craftiness. You could be dying of hunger, and they would not share a meal with you. You could be howling from poverty, and they could be swimming in gold, and yet they would still fleece you to the last crown. You could do nothing but be good to them, and they would still stab a knife in your back. Elves, in turn, seem related to the birds of prey that dwell in far-off Zerrikania. They care most for coloured feathers. They would most readily spend all day staring at their reflection in the water and singing their own praises. They are so awash in self-love that they no longer feel any desire towards members of the opposite sex of their own species. Their appearance, unquestionably pleasant to the eye, is highly misleading, for they are extraordinarily cruel, and any who judge them by the looks alone, they first dupe and then kill in cold blood. The proof of this? The so-called Scoia'tael, bandits that claim to fight for freedom, but in truth only long to kill humans. All these vile so-called elder races are, to our great fortune, slowly dying out. Joy fills the heart of every knight-thinking man at the thought of that his great-grandchildren will never know them, that in their day dwarves, halflings, and elves will be mere fairy tale characters used to scare young children and impressible children. And if you give me 1 second, I want you to make a phone call, so I'll just mute for this second.
A shame I have no time. What do you mean? Directly out of Nordling tales. Inconceivable.
My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I had a phone call from a family member and that had to be dealt with. Alright, so hopefully we can get out of here a little bit quicker because I have well, unfortunately, I've now got to go somewhere. So let's get this done as quickly as possible. Of course, I'm still going to read everything, but I'm going to hopefully hope that there's no more books left. The Nilfgaardians have... Oh, damn it. What shall become of Temeria? Temeria, a land where milk and honey once flowed. And what did she wrong the gods that they would treat her so cruelly? The Pearl of the North to some, she proved a galloping range for Nilfgaardian cavalry to others. As a country, it had survived 2 previous wars against the Empire. It was here that the war's bloodiest battles were fought. It was in Temeria where the most bestial deeds were wrought. It was Temerian civilians who bore the brunt of these wars' horrors. And bear them we did, bravely and steadfastly, until the demise of our great protector, King Foltest. Then Providence turned to its fickle face from Temeria. Murdered most treacherously, Foltest failed to leave Temeria a worthy successor. And so all manner of curse soon fell upon her, tearing her apart like so much carrion. She had no more allies then. None remembered that we had once been the armor protecting the North from the designs of the mad dancer, he who had the gravestones of his foes pounded into a ballroom floor. A free and independent Temeria is no more. A dark-faced sun looms over her every rampart. Yet we Temerians live on, and always will. As long as folk believe, the usurper who took our beloved capital Zima to treat as his property will forever peer over his shoulders in fear. For in the shadows lurks not one dagger, but the power of a nation of daggers, waiting to deal justice blow. Oh, I didn't knock that over. And Royal Lineages of the North. We've already read that, so we're all good. Right, let's go get our armor back. Oh, well, let's go look at these last 2 bookshelves and then go get our armor back. We read that one. Pearl in the North, Novigrad. No one can claim to have travelled to the Northern Realms who has not been to Novigrad. If I were forced to list what during my many meanderings has made the greatest impression on me, it would be precisely this great and yet at the same time free city. A metropolis worthy of the Empire. Its only flaw is that the civilization Nilfgaard carries with her has not yet enlightened it. That is why hordes of reactionary cultists of the Eternal Fire dwell in the midst of its excellent buildings and superb commercial infrastructure. One that feels as though superstition is how the local hierarch and his temple guard cement their powers over the city dwellers, and many they are to control, for the city counts no less than 30,000 inhabitants. While strolling through its fabulous port, surrounded by marvels of architecture, it is hard to imagine that centuries ago Novigrad was a mere minor elfin townstead. When the city fell into the hands of the Nordlings, its problems grew exponentially. For as well known, the people of the North can do a great many things, but peaceful and orderly cohabitation is not one of them. And so Novigrad first belonged to Redania, and then fell under Temerian rule, and until finally, after endless compromises and bargains, it at last became a free city. But is the city truly free? I dare to doubt it. Redanian influence makes itself felt strongly on every street corner, and the fact that the city is located within Radovid's territory speaks for itself. While wandering the city streets, I came across 4 watermills, 8 banks, and nearly 19 pawn shops. There are also a great many houses of simple pleasures such as taverns and brothels, and Novigrad's commitment to matters of faith is borne witness to the fact that the city contains no less, I kid you not, 19 temples to the eternal fire. What more can be said? I think Novigrad has all the makings of a capital of the world, and perhaps this is what it will one day be. Come. First, however, someone needs to bring order within her walls. Let's go grab my gear.
How might I serve the gentleman?
By returning my things.
Citrus and cloves. The fragrance will keep the gentleman's robes fresh somewhat longer.
Thanks, bunches.
The Emperor is not known for his patience. He wants his daughter back safe and sound, as soon as possible.
Yeah, mentioned something of the sort. So long.
Right, let's get myself redressed. There we go. Right. I think I look beautiful again. No, let's keep on the. Let's just keep the armor on that we're given at the beginning of the game. Motherfucker. There we go. Right, let's knock all this off. Oh, yeah, we'll definitely give that. Oh, I'll take the experience, thank you. Alright, so we've got loads of shit to sell there that we need to desperately get rid of. Alright, let's get going. I feel so much better with swords on my back. Ooh, there's a quest. Oh.
See you.
And suddenly like that, I have no interest because he wants me to play Gwent. Don't play Gwent. I do, but I'm not going to play at the moment. I'd rather get to where we're going. So Velen, Novigrad, Kaer Morhen, which we can't travel to yet anyway. But you can look at the map, which is a really nice map in my opinion. We can't even go to the Duchy of Toussaint yet. Though we can again see the land. We will be doing, like I said, we will be finishing all the DLC in that. We can actually go to Skellige. Though I wouldn't recommend it. Oh no, we can't. Fuck. Well, Velen it is.
Geralt and Yennifer were reunited, but something even more important happened in Vizima. Geralt learned that Cirilla, his one-time ward, had returned from afar, and she was in danger. He was to find her, at the Emperor's command and Yennefer's behest.
Alright. Yeah, let's not do the Hearts of Stone expansion yet. Alright, so what's the quest we've got? So, yeah, I understand. So we've got Pyres, Novigrad, Destination Skellige. Oh, that's what he's got. Oh, that's Novigrad. And that's completed quest. So we'll go to the Nilfgaardian Connection for now. I'm not gonna skip a quest right now. We'll straight to it. Now I'm gonna try and keep this game in order. I'm gonna try and go by quest level. Ooh. Fuck. 1 minute, well, fucking stop.
Come on.
Fucking wild dog, man. Motherfucker. Alright, you can definitely tell it's been a day or so since I've played the game, because my fucking ability to play it's just gone downhill so quickly. Let's get the dog tallow. Already slightly fucking toxic, got a slight amount of toxicity in me. Right, come on, Roach. Right, let's level up. Ooh, I can put... That's not what I meant to do. I also need to level up that. There we go, we've now maxed out the Axie Delusion sign. I need to make sure... Axie is one of the few symbols I don't think I've ever really used.
Giddy up.
I wonder if there's any quests here. There is a notice board, so let's get reading.
Gods. Full moon scene. Bar your windows tight. Nail an iron stud in the door frame. Maybe I should send you down to the creek. Might catch something. Be sure to keep the demons.
Alright, let's see what's on here. A warning. In lonely woods, screams carry long. Shadows creep far in the dark dale. Beware ye then the grove's wild song, or in the wild will end your tale. Guide wanted. I've need of a man to guide me and my family across the Pontar. 5 of us all in all. Me, me wife, 3 young'uns. But they're calm, not the carrying or yelling sort. Won't give us away to the soldiers. I'm not rich, but whatever I've got, I'll give. In fact, I'll take on debt and go into someone's service. Anything, as long as it gets me out of Velen. Please, someone hear my plea. Madost. To whomever help us send him off. To whomever has eyes to read. The other day, our Falibor died. We've no means to bury him properly, not a white shirt in the house, no cloth for a shroud, no planks for a coffin. If there aught you can spare, help, please. If we don't send him off to the next world proper like, he'll haunt us in all revenge. Haunt us all in revenge, from Nassie. Forefathers' Eve approaches, 'twill soon be Forefathers' Eve. Tormented souls who've not known rest after death, hungry, tired, scared ghost. They'll soon walk among us. We'll carve the jacks and send them into the next world with chant, prayer, and kind words. Prepare yourself, Pella. Watch what you say. The trees have ears. A kind stranger. Missing wife. Good people, take pity and hear my plea. My wife, Hannah, she's missing. A few days ago, she went into the woods and hasn't returned. I'm near out of my wits with worry and will pay any price to the man who brings her back to me, or at least tells me where to look for her. Nylan, hunter from Blackborough. So, what quests did we pick up from that, if any? I'm assuming it was just that one then. Yeah. Oh. That's miles away. Why the fuck is he a notice? Why the hell is the notice here? Okay, I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna go do my Nilfgaardian connection first then.
Come on, Roach.
There doesn't seem to be any quests here.
Then both forces attacked. One from either
Let's go.
side.
Oh, let's get going.
Step away. Chaplain's praying. What do you say?
Do not cast mad, brother. There is the door from the well of the eternal fire's grace. Approach, Witcher.
What do you want?
Rejoice, for even a creature as depraved and base in nature as you can serve the glory of the eternal fire. Someone must see to the corpses on the battlefield. Necrophages defile those not already rotting in mass graves. This is not right.
That's to be my good deed for the day?
A handsomely profitable one, I might add. I know your kind don't work for free.
All right, I'll take care of it.
This will count amongst your merits. The more good one works in life, the more hallowed things are. Yes, splendid. Here are the holy oils. Dash generously and set alight, understood? I wish it to flare up to the sky, for the glory of the eternal fire and all that.
Once I've incinerated the bodies, where'll I find you?
I shall be near the bridge to Novigrad.
Lovely. Well, we'll go do that now then. Something tells me the one I'm running to is not... Yeah, the one I'm running to is fucking miles away. So we'll go to this one first, and then we'll get ourselves there, you know, properly to the other ones. I do like when Geralt runs with his sword, like, because he puts it down to begin with, then he gets it facing forward like a badass.
Sure stinks like a mass grave.
Oh great, rot fiends.
They burn well.
Rot fiends and fucking... Fucking hell, this is not good for me. Right, fuck that. No, that sword's pointless against him. Deal with the rot fiend first. Fuck off, cunt! Right. I think the only thing I actually want to loot here is that rot fiend. I've probably got enough dog's tower to last me the entire game at this rate.
Now for a shot of Igni.
Alright. I should be able to get ourselves one more mass grave dealt with. I'll go for the one up here first. It's not closer than the other one, but well, they're probably about the same distance away. Hopefully this one doesn't have another a decent level rot fiend. Or the very well, actually, wild dogs are more my problem, I'd say. Oh, ghouls,
Yeah,
that's easy.
Sure stinks like a mass grave. Now for the holy oils. They burn well.
I really should stick to using my main thing. Ow, motherfucker. That should not have hit me, but alright. I will... Mother... Okay, I'm still as shit at this game as I remember. Good to know. And that is why I'm glad I'm not playing on Deathmatch difficulty at the moment.
Now for a shot of Igni.
Really would help if I did it the right way. You know what, fuck it, we should be able to get all three of them done. Let's go. Unfortunately for me, I don't have any potions, so I should probably do a quick meditate before I get into the fight. You can never be too sure. I must admit, this is not a. This is also another quest where I didn't do my first playthrough. So this is very weird that I'm getting loads of quests that I've never done, or at least I'm now finding quests that I've never done. Let's wait here. Alright, let's go do the last battlefield.
Run, Roach.
Not that we'll be able to hand this quest in for a while, because I'm not going to Novigrad for a while. So, well, it'll be done. That'll help. That'll do.
Shit, one's still alive.
Right. That's that dealt with.
If it ain't that fucking priest, it's corpse eaters. I'm done with this damn town.
A priest?
We'd agreed to meet as usual, just a larger delivery. Good customer, I thought. Then they whipped out blades.
We still talking about a priest of the eternal fire?
I'd say so. Beat-stained pricks can't be trusted. This one had ordered premium-grade fistek from me 3 times, everything perfect. But the 4th, his man came at us with knives, sought to knock us out of trade. Shoved me in that ditch with the corpses. Must have thought the ghouls would take care of the rest.
And to make sure, he hired a witcher to burn the bodies, destroy any evidence.
A witcher? Meaning you? So what now?
Nothing. Didn't pay me to burn the living.
Oh, thank the gods it's true what they say. Though mutants, you live by a code. Oh, thank you, Witcher.
Well, I mean, if I had a choice, well, you know, I'd probably, yeah, I'd still leave you alone. There's no reason to kill you.
Now for a shot of Igni.
You said it'd be by Novigrad. Oh, right, yeah. Novigrad's actually north of me. You know what? I could go... You know what? We'll go hand the quest in the next part, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we're actually going to have to end this part here. I hope you guys enjoyed. In the next part, we'll continue on. See you guys then.